Hi, my friend. It is Pat Sloan here for my Monday version of my video called Fireside Chat. It's a little bit longer. And guess what? We have hit 50,000 plus subscribers now. Mwah, mwah. Thank you. I wish I knew how to make confetti fall down on the video here, but oh, that's just awesome. I appreciate all of you so much for being a subscriber. Subscriber is just like being a follow. So if you're just following such as you would on any other platform, any other place like Facebook or Instagram or any other online community, you just follow the videos. So if you would be so good, if you haven't done that yet, to click below. It's so exciting. I appreciate it so much. It helps out when you hit these sort of numbers, because then my videos are shared as possible ones people will like, and so we get more friends, and more friends are good. All right, so to celebrate 50,000, it is also February 1st. Woo! Made it to February. I don't know why I say that. Why does everybody say that? Made it here. I think it's the pandemic. I don't think I'd say that if it weren't for the pandemic. So February, we are continuing on with our elephants. I have some update on my larger hearts for today, a little bit of cross stitch, and I want to talk Liberty of London, my friend Jenny's book. I'm going to show you her book today. It is gorgeous, and a few other things. Okay, so let's first do Ellie the elephant. Let me move my coffee. Don't want to get it on there. So I have got my elephants basted. Let's see if I can show you. So remember, I am going to do mine as a long, long piece that'll go, a long quilt that'll go over my headboard in my bedroom. So I did 3 rows. I'll show you here 3 rows, and here's the other end. Now I think I am just a little bit long, so it's going to be longer than my headboard. That wasn't my plan, but I forgot that I needed to make the spacers between the Ellies a little bit smaller. So anyway, that's what it is. And if someday I don't want it up there, it can be a bed runner, or it can go in the back of a sofa. It's a great size. So 3 rows of elephants. So I'm pretty excited, and it's basted, and I've already done in the ditch through along here and here on both in the next one, on that horizontal sashing. And then I did to lock down the top, I'm going to do the zigzag, so you can see the zigzag stitch. That is how I'm going to do the whole thing. What I found out is that in the evening, when I'm, it's like 9 or 9:30, and I just want to do a little bit of sewing, but I don't want to think, I don't want to have to make decisions, I can do this kind of quilting, just go and zoom it through and get a bunch done in an hour, if I do that from like 9:30 to 10:30 at night. So the backing, I didn't show you the back. I used my Morrison Park. These are all my Morrison Park fabrics. So there is the print that I'm using for the back, one of my favorites. We're allowed to have favorites. I think so. Okay, the hearts. Oh, I'm also going to do a little recap at the end on calendar stuff. So stay to the end. Don't let me forget. So here's the hearts. We want to make a heart by the end of February, by February 14th, not the end of February 14th. So I've got the little one here that I did, and it is the 12-inch finished with 1-inch half square triangles. So now I'm doing the larger piece, and here is the first unit I have done. I have all of the half square triangles finished, and what I'm doing is putting up each section on the design wall like it's done in the pattern. So this is the first section in the pattern. Let me show you. Okay, so here you go. So you can see how it's done. This is a free pattern written by the Fat Quarter Shop. And so I have this really nice peachy pink that I'm using solid to go with these. And this is a bunch of different pieces. I started with some from the Homestead line and then went through my stash and got some other pieces to go with it. So it has that light and dark feel still, which I really wanted. I didn't want to make them all red where there wasn't any light and dark, but I took out the ones that were white based that I showed you the last time so that it's more cohesive. It doesn't have a high, contrast, particularly with these bigger squares. You're going to notice a big pop of white, a big pop of white, whereas this is very, very pretty. It's very soothing. They just blend super nice. So I am so excited to get that moving along, because February 14th will be here before we know it, and I would like to put the heart up ahead of Valentine's Day. But if I don't get it done until Valentine's Day, then I will leave it up, because I love hearts. Hearts are one of my favorite shapes. I just love them. So it will stay up for a while. So this is your assignment. So if you are making the heart, or if you have not started yet, today is the day. Get your triangles cut. You can use the triangle on the roll paper, which, let me get one of them. They look like this. So the triangles on the roll, that's how the pattern is written to use. These are the, are these the bigger ones? Yeah, these are the 3-inch, like I'm showing you. So you basically, if you watch one of my prior videos on Monday, one of my prior Monday videos, I show you how I went through these. You can also watch Kimberly's videos from the Fat Quarter Shop, which show you exactly how to do it. So, I mean, you might as well just go watch the whole thing if you really want to know. But you're basically sewing on the line, and then you are cutting and then removing the paper. So it keeps it very precise. It's also really nice if you have scraps, because then you don't know where the grain of the fabric is. So when you're creating these, you're not pulling on the grain if you're on the bias. It just keeps it nice and firm and tidy. So they are really fun to use. If you've never used them before, then I think that you might enjoy trying it. You might want to pick them up and see what they're like. So I'll give you the link down below to all this stuff. Now, before we get away from the Ellies, I have to show you what Carmen sent me. Is this not adorable? Look. Carmen's made a card for me of this little elephant. It is so, so sweet. I love it, love it, love it. Or she may have bought it. I don't know whether she made it or she bought it, but it is so cute. I just adore this. It's like a baby too. It's a baby. And then speaking of doing your quilting, remember I had the masking tape? Well, my friend Jody here, hi Jody. Jody had some masking tape sent to me that is cute and pretty. Look, colors. I love this. So now I have masking tape to put down on my quilt that is colors, so that if I'm actually doing a blue quilt, I can put down, orange or red, something I can see. And just as fun to have these really pretty colors. And then she also sent me an assortment of sizes, because there's different widths, so that if I wanted to go, that width apart for the quilting, then I could just put the tape down and sew on either side. Now, I did have a few friends ask here on the channel if I use the washout markers or the iron away markers to mark my quilt tops, and I do not. I prefer to do very little marking, and I prefer to use the tape because I know it will not leave any mark on the fabric. I always feel like if I'm going to draw on my fabric, I need to have tested all those fabrics to be sure that wash away or that iron away really does come off. And I am not going to go test all my fabrics. I just don't. I won't. So I will just use the tape instead. That is my approach to life. It's like I try to go for what's easy, what's simple, what's straightforward. I don't want to go too crazy. But I know for a lot of you, you do like to mark, and you're successful with it. So of course that's what you can do. Now I did finish. I was showing you the little cross stitch that I made into a little mini quilt. So it is done with my Morrison Park fabric as the border, and I use the same fabric on the back, which I think is really nice when you use it on the back, because then on this edge here you don't get any shadow of that backing fabric. Since I'm not putting regular binding on, I'm just sewing top stitching around that edge. Here, I'll just pull it down here so maybe you can see a little better. I got a lot of stuff on the table though, so we're going to come down here anyway. So here you go. So you can see there's a top stitch. After I turned it inside out, I top stitched the whole way around. And because of that top stitch, that's why I like to use the same fabric on the back. I just feel like you won't have the backing fabric like peeking out along this edge any, because I have had that happen. So here's the little chapel. So sweet, so sweet. Okay, we'll put him back there. Put him back in the rolling assistant. So let's talk about the other cross stitch now. So the monthly markings, this is where I am with it. So I started around that border, and I will do that turquoise goes down here next. So I do that, but this is February 1st. So what does that mean? It means I can do the February one. So here is the block for February. It goes in here. These will make really cute little tiny pin cushions too. If you did one of these and then turn it into a little pin cushion, that would be so cute. Or a little, like a little mini pillow that you could put on those stacking trays that I showed you the other day. Those would be super cute. So my goal is to get this done first, and then build the rest of the border around these 2 months, and then I can go work on some other cross stitch for the rest of February. So I want to sort of move this part along, and I'm keeping it, all the stuff for this project, in the project bag with the pretty butterfly pull. So I've got this project bag in here, because if you don't know what that cross stitch looks like, it is long like this. That's this one. So it's from Heart and Hand. All the links are below, and I'm using the Weeks threads, which are variegated. So they're pretty cute. I like them. I love this bag too because it's got a gusset on it. See at the bottom here? So the bag is a gusset so that if I'm, it can stand up on its own. And it's a real pliable bag too. This material is really nice. It's very pliable. And of course you got have to have a cute butterfly on there, of course. Okay. That's my cross stitch. And I've also, just to give you an update of where I am on the crochet, I have this much done on this guy. Ta-da! That's not too bad. And I have this much yarn from the first ball. So like I said, I don't know why. I still don't think I need 5 of these unless I'm like, covering Manhattan with it. But I will make it as big as I want, and then I'll probably have balls of these yarn left. So you can tell I haven't crocheted in a long time, but it's really nice for my left hand. It keeps these fingers late at night. I try to do a little bit late at night so that when I've stopped sort of doing other things, because it keeps the movement of these fingers so they don't get so tight. They still get really tight. I want to show you now, I want to talk to you now about the Liberty of London book that my friend Jenny Smith did. And if you remember, just before Christmas, in December she was doing a countdown to Christmas, and she did these short little videos where she took a quilt from the book, and then she makes all her own clothing, and a lot of it's in Liberty. So she wore a Liberty piece of clothing and showed a quilt from the book. Now, the book is here, and I have a block. I made a block for Jenny that went into one of the quilts in the book. But I want to tell you a little bit about the book, because if you love Liberty of London fabric, or you're just intrigued by it, and you want to see and learn more, she has got a lot of information in here about the fabric part of Liberty, these Liberty of London fabrics, and then these really wonderful patterns. So let's take a look. First, this is the book. The book comes in a nice hard cover. This is one of the Liberty fabrics. And then you take the book out, and I've got some cloth in here to show you. But this is the cover of the book. Isn't it glorious? I love yellow. Now I need to have this fabric. I need to have that blue fabric. Look at that navy and yellow. Isn't it gorgeous? So this is the book. All right. Let me just pull this over here. Let's see how we can come down here. We've got a lot of stuff here. What I want to do is be able to show you the book. I think I need to move it up here. There we go. Now, in the beginning of the book, Jenny made a note. This is another Liberty. Every sort of panel you see is Liberty fabric. So I think the map fabrics are fabulous. Then she tells you, here it is, here's inside. Like, I was only in London when I was very young, so like in high school. So I did not really think to go to Liberty in London when I was in high school going to London. So someday I'll get back there. Here is the front of the building. And then she's got the sections, and so I'm just going to walk you through the beginning part a little bit. She talks about how her history is. She comes from a long family of textile makers, and people who worked in the textile industry. That's her whole sort of family background. So I find that really wonderful that she's continued it on. So now this is going into the actual fabrics itself. So she's got a part here that shows how the fabrics have been developed, how the designs have been developed. Jenny is a spokesperson for Liberty of London Fabrics, and so she knows a lot of the designers who create these patterns, the current designers, and she's talked with them. They're her friends. They'll go for coffee. So here's just, look, I have a piece of that one. I think that's one of the, I have very little Liberty of London, but now I want it. And then, these gorgeous, gorgeous photos that she had taken at the Liberty place so that you could put them in the book. And there's the gorgeous fabrics. Wouldn't you just love to go? Wouldn't you just go crazy going in there and seeing all those prints? They're so sweet. They're so pretty. But there's a huge variety. It's not just the tiny little fabrics. Okay, so then we get into the quilts. So she's got just a couple of them hanging here, and they're all to sort of showcase the Liberty fabric at their best. And and she's named them all, and once she names them, then she goes and tells you why she selected that name, who Arthur is. He was one of the designers, and how she used the fabrics, the Liberty fabrics, to go into the quilt. So there's a diagram of that quilt. All right, let me show you one. I really like this one called Style. It is very Art Deco and used some of these really Art Deco prints. See, here's another. There's a bunch. Okay, let me show you. There we go. Is the compass. I just think the compass is lovely. Now I have to show you the one that was a group project. No, not yet. That's the next one. Here is a little pin cushion that she did with the tree. I really like this tree. And also, there's a runner of just the trees. Okay, and then back here is Love and Kisses, is the one that she asked a whole group of us to make a block for this quilt. And I will pop a picture here of my block. So that's my block that's in there. It's also at my website. And then she talks about the project, about having us build a block. And this is the quilt that I want to make from the book. I love Love and Kisses, just speaks to me. And so I want to make this one. The best section, I think, is the swatches. So she has gone through and documented the different fabrics that Liberty of London has, which I think is really fascinating, because then you can really see how the style changes. It's not like the map print, like here's the map print. I love the map print, and very art deco, and then very small little, cute red print. I need the red, right? I need the red. There's some other, like this is that print that I said I have a piece of that was coming off the line. They're very, very different, some of them. Some of them are very bold. Like, look at this. This looks like, you know, the pop art. So there's some like that. And here's little fishes. But there's always new prints coming out. And they have, like, prints that are limited edition and things like that. So it's really varied in what Liberty of London does. So if you are excited about Liberty of London fabric, or just want to learn more, or want an absolutely gorgeous coffee table book with fabulous patterns in it, you need to get this one. So I will link you below. Now this is all I have of Liberty of London fabric. Here's this print that was in the book. Ta-da! See, there's the print. And it comes in a couple of different colors. If you want, like, these are the squares that I got from fabric.com, where you can, you know, get just one square, and that's what some of these are. So I collected a few because I need to, since I don't have that many, I need to figure out a plan. That's why the heart quilt is really nice, because I just need to get a variety of small sizes, and then I can just make that scrappy heart quilt. And I want to show you, I splurged. Remember I got the Liberty of London pear pin cushion? Remember the pear? Ta-da! Now this is the cottons. There's the lawn, which is the silky stuff, and then there's cotton like this, which feels like regular cotton. And this is priced like regular quilting cotton. The lawn is more expensive. It's very silky. It feels like silk. But guess what else I got? Do you know he's in there? Ta-da! I got the mouse. I got the mouse. Oh my goodness. He is so cute. Look. Look, look, look. His little face. And he comes in a couple of colors. And he has a little jingle bell on his tail. Look at his little ears. Oh my goodness. Yes. I had to have the mouse. Oh, he is so sweet. Oops. Love, love, love him. So you can get one too, because I'm an enabler. You know, everybody needs a Liberty mouse. Oh, goodness. Nuts. I'm just nuts. Okay, put the book over there. So one of the other things that I'm working on, so that I can... I want to have pieces that, as I'm sewing other patchwork, I use them to start and stop, you know, going in and out, you know, to start and stop a series of patchwork. And so I'm building these blocks from the Home Is, and this block is, what was it, 14 inches, a 14 inch, and this is the Home Is block number 2, the warmest spot. So I have got a bunch of these cut now. I want to show you what I did. I think you can see in here. I have got them all cut, and not all of them yet. I still have a couple, but I just did like little piles like this, and then stacked the piles on top of each other. And what I have, let me put this in here. And what I have down on here with these piles of fabric that you saw at the edge are the rest of them to cut. So I've grouped them. So I have the center square. Like here's the center square for this one. And then they all have a stripe. I think this is the only stripe I'm repeating so far. I'm going to have 16 blocks. I think that's what I'm doing. So I have these, and I have one more. All of these 4. I have these 4 to cut up. And then I will just keep sewing them until I get all that done, and then decide, will I do any more? And that's nice, because it gives me a chance to do something different. Remember, I did the red and white one before. I was just doing the red and white checkerboard, and now this gives me blocks, which is, you know, it changes it up for me, because it gets a little boring sometimes if you're always doing the same thing over and over again. I like to have a little variety, So we are at the end of, we're at the start of February. I'm taping this it's Sunday, so think forward. It's also snowing while I'm taping this, or at least it's yeah, we're getting some. We have maybe 1.5 inches of snow out there. Can I swing that around? Not sure if you can see the snow out there. There you go. It's not that much yet, but it's coming down just a little bit here. So I did a recap for myself of, this is the first time I've really, after, I started these calendars in March of 2020, when basically the pandemic started for us here in the United States. And I haven't really tracked things like on the calendar that much, but I decided this month to track how many days of yoga I did, which is, let's see, what did I do? I have yoga every day. That's what I did. I did yoga every day. I walked 19 of the 31 days. I think that's pretty good for January in Virginia. And for sunny days, we had more than I expected. We had 18 sunny days in January, because I decided that's what started me marking off on here, is I wanted to know how many days it was sunny, just because I always feel like January is really dreary. So that was impressive, 18 days that were sunny. And there were a couple partially sunny days, which I don't count. It's my list, I don't count them. I did not do a toss status for January, but I think I'm going to add that again for February, to toss out things that, we started out at the beginning of the month because there was a sub-organization theme for January, to organize. So, I had little things, sprinkled throughout the whole month about assignments to go and organize. And one of the big things a lot of people did was to toss out projects, toss out things. So that I hope you did, and we'll probably continue it. So if you have not downloaded your February calendar, you want to go ahead and do that and get ready, because half of February is going to be UFO busting. So you got until the middle of the month, till February 15th, and then we're going to do that. So I'm super excited. I hope you will be basting up your Ellie blocks and getting them ready, and you can so that you can have your elephant quilt, your stomping ground quilt. All the links are below. I thank you so much for subscribing, for helping me get to 50,000 people here in our community of liking my videos. I thank you so much. I love you. I'll see you online.